is my hello, welcome to welcome back to Blazing Soul Podcast.
That's hilarious.
With Marcelo and Laura.
Hey, don't just glance over. Let them see our warts. Hey, we was talking to y'all.
It was on mute.
Mike totally on mute. We just sitting there going
I'm just
on
going
and
on about how it's our 1 year anniversary. We're celebrating today.
The podcast, not the marriage.
Oh, not the marriage. No, not the marriage. Oh gosh, we've been together way too long.
Way too long. Okay, let's call some lawyers.
I love you. I mean, I know you by now. You say you know me.
Yeah. Hey,
more than I know myself.
If we got any divorce attorneys out there, hit my DM on Facebook so I can get ahead of this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my Lord.
No, but yeah, it's been a year for the podcast.
Yes.
And it doesn't even seem like it's been a year, but it's good. We've been around for a minute. We haven't gotten too many complaints.
Too many? We haven't got any, have we?
Yeah, we got initially we got some cats when we were talking about the riots and how there's a lot of discrimination and
controversial. We bring up controversial conversations and topics just so we can see both point of views, because that's how you learn. That's how you educate yourself, Doesn't mean we stand for one political party over the other or one riot and but it's just we want to hear everyone's voice and we want to educate. Right?
I'm neither Republican or
we don't follow any political parties. I'm making informed decisions. So the views of our guests are, they might have their own views, but politically or whatnot, we bring them on just so we could, learn and showcase, the Black and Asian community leaders and entrepreneurs that are out here. And so
if I don't agree with someone, I have to know what their position is for me not to agree with it. So we have anybody that has an opinion, has a voice, wants to get out.
Yes.
We don't discriminate based on that factor. It's just it's talking. You talk on social media about some of the most intimate things.
Right.
And you've never seen those people before in your life, so you have a discussion where it's kind of open. Everybody is out. Everybody can comment. We don't censor anything. There's no script involved with Blazing Soul. Truly organic in every nature. So we keep it moving in that
organic, like our topic tonight.
I like the segue. I ain't gonna lie, that was nice. I like the segue.
You like something I did? Oh my goodness.
I like. Hey, she be betraying on here like I am just the domineering husband of like a Tyler Perry movie or something like that. Don't get it twisted. This one over here, to a certain extent, runs the household. So don't let her fool you with that.
It's like I got my army gear on.
Yeah, don't let her fool you with that feminine. Oh, you like something I did. Don't let her run that on y'all. You know what I'm saying? I need help. This is a call for help from me.
You're writing your book soon, right?
Yeah. No doubt.
What's your book title?
I don't know, but it has something to do with having 4 or 5 women living in a household at one time. Can be overpowering. But
all right, why don't you introduce our next guest speaker?
Yeah, we're introducing a young entrepreneur.
And I will have you introduce him because I want to see if you know how to say his name. You've been married for me for a long time, so you should know how to say his name. So go ahead, introduce.
I put me on a spot like that. There was no rehearsal. I mean, it's organic, but there was no. Hey, I'm going to ask you that. Anyway, this is a young entrepreneur in the Illinois area. He is one of the owners and founders of Alternative Vibes. They deal in alternative medicine. Your CBDs, THC, things of that nature. Now that practice is now legal. A lot of people have gotten into that industry because it's an extremely quick money-making industry. I mean, it blew up overnight, so to speak. But not only the big, big brothers of the industry getting involved, but we also have local individuals who are investing in this industry and investing to help people with pain and things of that nature. So I would like to welcome Bear.
Come on, you could do it.
Well, there's no A there. There's
Come on, you can do it.
Is that it? Or is it that?
Oh, it's this one.
Okay, yeah, see?
But you could do it.
What are you doing?
I was just...
Bear.
Sayavong.
Hey, what's up?
Stop you. I was going to say that. What up, Bear? What's going on, man?
What's going on, Marcelo? Laura, what's going on? Thank you for having me on the live.
Same, just living life, fall about to hit, trying to get ready for that. The same old, same old. What's going on with you? And let me point out that the plant in the left-hand corner is
the flower?
Yeah. I want people to glance over that, but you are one of the CEOs and owners of Alternative Vibes. Why don't you tell everybody exactly what Alternative Vibes is?
Yes, absolutely. Alternative Vibes, we started out, really we wanted to get into the cannabis, high THC space with the way licensing and, the finance, the capital that's required, through research and through my due diligence as a, potential small business owner was, what can I do to get into the cannabis industry? I don't have the capital. I don't have the money. So through researches, and I'm thinking I always knew cannabis was a medicine, was something that was going to help, something that's natural, an alternative. It should be a primary, not alternative, right?
Right.
But all in all this was the fact that it's our parents, our family, right, our grandparents, so forth, the people that we love. The time comes with age, and with age requires maintenance, and those maintenance requires wellness and health, whether it's mentally, physically, your mind, body, and soul. You got to keep it as 100% as best as you can. So with Alternative Vibes, it was a company that one was from I remember we're somewhere, and I'm we're watching UFC with some friends and family at local rookies, I believe it was. And Nate Diaz got on, and he said, "Yeah, I'm vaping, this CBD to help me with muscle recovery and whatnot." And that's sort of just helped me give confirmation and confidence that I was heading in the right direction. One thing about education is that it doesn't matter what it is that you do. You have to learn, do your research, right? I mean, why would you want to invest your time and your money into something that you're going to lose at the end? I don't think that's what we're in business for, or that's why we're in business for it. But all in all, to be successful, we have to have some kind of end result. And for me, the end result was, my parents. I know that they're not gonna here. Hey, here's joints, right? But now you see your plants that's sitting here, and maybe that's something they can vet, juice, right? But all in all, I had even myself, I had gone to many different events, MJ BizCon. That's happening in Vegas. I believe it's next week or something like that. And, went to a few of those, seminars. They're not cheap to go to those. You go to those, and plus, your whole expense for the trip itself, whether it's in Vegas, MJ Biz, Indo Expo in Colorado, Hawaiian Hemp Expo, Hawaii Cannabis Expo in Hawaii, right? So these adventures that we took was educational, also networking, be able to meet individuals. But all in all, what I learned through this whole process was, the cannabinoids, not just THC, because when we think of cannabis, because when this all came about, so just rewind a little bit, I heard about, man, did you hear cannabis is going to become legit and legal in Illinois? And I'm like, no shit. I mean, excuse my language, but I'm in the corporate world, right? And I hear something like this, it's just man, who'd ever thought? You think California, the West Coast, and all right, they're going to stop. They're not going to go any farther. But sure enough, 2013, 2014, I finally, just made a decision of all right, let's get on Google and let's Google what medical cannabis is, right? And that's the other thing too was, me doing research on hemp and CBD and the benefits of, hemp and CBD, in the beginning was a little challenging because, it comes with just growing up, the stigma of cannabis is that it's a horrible thing, it's a bad thing, and one thing that with your previous, say, teenage years where you used to get in trouble, so that sort of like sticks with you, like I don't want to, man, I don't want to get arrested, I don't want to get a ticket even, right?
Right.
So all in all, I mean, this whole journey has been really is not just trying to, you know, myself as medicating, right? So I've had procedures on my sinus a couple of times, one at Loyola in Chicago, and those are health reasons, for me to be able to breathe better, my inflammation, for my sinuses, and through my research that I found is, some of the benefits of taking a product like CBD, but I like to say hemp products or cannabis products, right? It's just in the cannabinoids. So in this case, it's very low, or not 0% THC. But I found even with that, whether single molecule with the CBD itself, that's going to help with inflammation, even help with just the relaxation and calmness, right? Some will say it helps with pain. For me, I have to have a little higher percentage of THC. But all in all, alternative vibes is now, an option, say, for example, if you're a school bus driver, or say, Laura, like say, hey, I don't want to get high. I don't want to get intoxicated. Or I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to get drunk, right? But yet, you want to seek something that could be more natural, less side effects, if say you take anything else. So in this case, it's an opportunity where, hey, you know what? Um, I wanted to get into the cannabis industry, and first and foremost, if any of my ventures in being a small business owner was, finding the name, the marketing, branding, building the branding for my company, alternative vibes, for me, it just made sense. And my best consultants were my family, my friends. Like, hey, what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of this color? What do you think of this logo? And you guys helped us with, the transitions as well, right? Local marketing helped us in the beginning of all the stages, helped us with the marketing for alternative vibes. And it was a process that took so many involved, because this is something that, we cannot afford. Some people say it's okay to make mistakes. Well, maybe for you, but for me, I can't, because that might be my last dollar.
Right.
That's my rent money, right? Like that's the money that I was supposed to put food on the table. But these are sacrifices we make, just like our parents, they came, immigrants, right? You wrote a book, and us being immigrants, we've known each other since elementary school. That's, I won't say the years, but it was about
That's
yeah,
about
35
15
years ago,
years ago,
right?
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
35 years ago. So
Y'all both lying. Keep it moving, man. Y'all both lying.
it served pretty well, So, but yes, definitely for sure. This is something, I think it's an influence too, whether that, I'm an immigrant, born in Thailand in a refugee camp, and, to see not just my parents, but so many on that same bus going to, a church, Christmas party provided by the church, and helping immigrants and, refugees and whatnot, So, for me, I sort of could say I consider myself lucky in the fact that I was just an infant when I was born. My parents was able to come to Chicago, and even though that many immigrants had expanded to different parts of the world after the Vietnam War. But I think that that's what had helped always motivate me to push forward and push harder than I've ever have even before. It's something that we have to find a balance to. But this is something that's like, hey, man, not everybody's gonna want to get high, and for me to help create a space for people to feel more comfortable saying, hey, I'm using a cannabis product, but this particular product has 0.3% THC or 0% THC. Yeah, you know, so it's just education. The education is really important. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. But through the experiences, whether we've helped somebody or individuals or patients at senior living, um, we've done presentations, or individuals will refer to me and say, hey, I heard about you through my child or my son or my family member, saying that you're the person to help me in regards of cannabis questions, right? So we help individuals get their medical cards, We wish that this would happen a lot sooner for Illinois, but we are blessed, and it's definitely um, it's very meaningful that we're in the right direction for the program in Illinois, and not just Illinois, but other states to follow. So hopefully on a federal level that this will change. And then with that, my hope is that alternative vibes will still be the same. Our focus is to help families with the use of alternatives such as cannabis products, and the education comes with the individual itself. It's something that, for example, like say, hey, I want you to go to the dispensary, or here's a product that you can use that's, um, high THC, for example, or low CBD, or whichever it is. But at the end of the day, you got to think is everyone's different and unique in their own ways. So something that might work for you might not work for me, or might not work as well for me. It's working, but it's just that our receptors in our bodies is a little bit different, right? So our body's going to react and interact differently.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I mean, alternative vibes, like I said, it's really been a great opportunity. Just the fact that I wouldn't have been able to get into the cannabis space because of the licensing. So hemp, when Illinois came about with the hemp licensing, so I have a partner in the hemp farm. That's why we have stopped focusing on manufacturing CBD products. And as an entrepreneur in small business, we have faced some challenges as well and some obstacles because, at some point or another, we were shipping to different states and different countries. I mean, we were seeing sales. I mean, it was like, man, like like I'm about to make it, and then truly it's not about the money for me, I mean, I'm not looking to make millions. I like to have a good life and take care of my family. It's honest living, man. This is what it feels like to be legit. Like I'm in the cannabis industry, legit. Like
Right.
and many others to do the same thing, and this is what I hope that with my education, you know, in continuing to advocate is that, we're going to help end the war on drugs, by helping educate so that lawmakers and, authorities and the government officials can quite understand or maybe help them understand a little bit better that it's more than just, the profits to be made, right? The billions to be shared in the cookie jar. It's like this is helping change someone's life. Why
Right.
would we do something to help someone's life be a better place? I mean,
Right.
sometimes you got to go to boot camp. Boot camp sucks, but guess what? What happens after that boot camp? In this case, it's a little bit different type of boot camp. It's more educational.
Hmm. Now, let me ask you. I guess one of the biggest questions that everyone would have would be, what is the biggest difference between CBD and marijuana? Is it just the THC factor? Can you, briefly kind of give your explanation of it?
I think if I understood the question correctly, is the difference between hemp and cannabis or the
Uh,
CBD
well,
itself?
CBD and cannabis. What's the difference between what CBD is and what somebody would smoke in a joint?
Okay, so CBD. I'm not big on words, so I do apologize for that.
No,
But
you're fine.
the most common terms you hear is THC,
Yeah.
CBD, CBN, CBG, so forth, right? These are molecule compounds that are found in the plant. And the best way I can sort of, I mean, like, so if I'm wrong, correct me, please. Any
No,
scientists?
this is just your take.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, I'm saying any other, anybody listening on this, and that's part of the education, for example. So let's just say this particular plant right here, and I know this from experience because there's no, when you come to our hemp farm, you cannot tell the difference between cannabis. This is my cannabis. I'm a medical patient, so this is my 5 plant count. It's just been sitting here because I don't have time after coming home from the farm, and you know. But either way, so say this particular plant here, it's cannabis, right?
Mhm.
Um, so no one is going to be able to really tell the difference between this particular plant and a hemp plant because all in all, it's the same plant, right? It's different species, really thing, So, but the difference in molecule makeup or the compound or the profile of the cannabinoid is that this particular genetic, the strain is going to have, say, a higher ratio of a specific makeup. So let's say in hemp, it tends to have more of or less of THC. But then other cannabinoids could have also be found, like some of the hot topics that people are talking about right now is the hot commodity that you've seen is Delta 8, right? In cannabis, it's the Delta 9, the THC. It's sort of like the bigger brother. It's a different, I guess there's some similarity. I was in Clubhouse and I was in a room where there was a chat and there was some doctor, scientist. Either way, he was going over this stuff and like I said, it's a lot of information. Truly, it's like, man, I feel like I'm going to like medical school or or science class, and I'm okay with that. I like the education. I love education. That's why we usually get CCCs, the classes or the presentations here. But yeah, but all in all, is in my opinion, is that there is no difference. If the CBD is found in this particular plant with the cannabis and hemp, that molecule is still the same type of molecule. It's like saying H2O, you
Mm-hmm.
know, right? It's like your oxygen or CO2.
Mm-hmm.
Those molecules are going to change unless something happens. So now if you say if you take this here and say THCA, so now once we then ignite or use heat, what's called the process of decarboxylation that's provided to use to make edibles, right? So
Mm-hmm.
decarboxylation will help the converting of THCA, which is an acidic form of THC. And that's the delta 9 that everyone's seeking for, the psychoactive compound, right? So, I mean, I hope that helped answer your question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a lot of information, but I think time it comes down to this is once when someone uses cannabis products, whether it's edibles, whether it's vape, pre-rolls, flower, whatever the preference is, and some might have to try everything. Some might say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm going to take a puff of cannabis or vape or take an edible.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the process that one will take for self-healing. And through all in all, is that when you purchase a product and you go into the dispensary, and that's why we love lab reports. Even myself is alternative. We have labs that was done in San Francisco and in Resco. They're an FDA approved facility that have done many years of services in the food industry. Then they got into the cannabis space. We met them literally standing in line at Emerald Cup for like 2016, I believe, and we just changed business cards and all of a sudden sending him products to test. But at the end of the day, the lab will have specific tags and their batches. So every time you produce a batch of products, that it should be lab tested because the end result is could change, right? So when you test in the beginning, and by the time you package everything, you check the shelf life, right? That shelf life, you better hope that it's going to be something, for example, if your product is going to sit on the shelves, which hopefully it doesn't. It's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and so forth. And this is possibly things that I have to learn too. Like, as we were a manufacturer of, hemp products, so we have to like, get insured. We have to learn of all the food codes and the safeties and, take these classes online. But yeah, I mean, it just, but those labs, and that's why, anybody that's using cannabis, even recreational, pay attention. Look at the terpenes. Like, hey, man, like I use this product and it helps me, like, give me more energy, but I didn't have the anxiety compared to the other strain or the other product that I was using, or help me sleep better. Look at some of those things because sometimes it's not just the cannabinoids where it's like 1-to-1 ratio or high ratio of one or the other, and then you're not realizing that it really was a lot of the terpenes that helped out because some of that aromatherapy, right? So it's the whole makeup, and that's the entourage effect is that the plant itself is really the full effect of everything that's provided. It's like you're eating an orange, and you first peel that orange, you're like, man, like wow, right? Or what people don't realize, why am I drinking lemon water? You know, lemon water sort of helps, for me, at least it helps with anxiety, right? You're sipping on that in a restaurant, all right, you chill, relax. And that's aromatherapy, or different, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a scientist, but these things are available. These things are there. So
What has been your most memorable client there?
some of the most memorable ones are the ones that you don't really want to remember the situation that you put into. For a while too, like I was in some benzo groups. I was helping individuals that were on methadone. Um, we had been reached out to by family members that someone had cancer. Uh, so some of those things I think that really sticks to you more is the fact that life is precious, and those things you make you think like, wow, we sent the product out and overnight it, and that person didn't get to try it. You get a phone call, 24 hours later from someone else saying, hey, they haven't called you back because the wife passed away. Um, but we've had also many great experiences and memories of, seeing individuals crying or families or parents saying, you helped my child that was autistic, and, all these tests that we've done, nothing seems to help, and even though they've gone through all this process now, and, like Carter's story, he went through a special, um, you know, I don't know too much of where or what the facility was, but I know that they had specialized in helping, children with autism. But in the meantime, we were able to help assist with our CBD products. You saw the difference in how his behavior was, and especially with autism. Especially authorities, people don't realize, if someone's, acting a certain way because of mental health, but some type of condition, right? Especially with autism, they have their highs, they have their lows.
Right.
And then CBD was able to help, bring some of that down or help keep it in a sense, a better balance. Say that, we was able to give our gummies while that child went to school for their lunch pack, right? And the mother at the time at first was scared, but she had to ask, check with the school and, with it being hemp, and, that wasn't such much an issue. But, in Illinois, in Schaumburg, I can't remember too much of the stories, but there was a student had gone to Schaumburg High School, I believe, and there was some type of lawsuit where that child was having seizures and was in medical cases and wasn't able to use uh, her cannabis product in the beginning of all this, but now it became a norm, so it
Oh,
seems
wow.
like that. So I mean, the memories, I mean, it varies so much, because they're all meaningful, because it actually helps
Yeah.
people with life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I know that Bear, when we initially was doing the marketing for you, I think we had some samples that you had left, and at that time, my mom was bedridden. If you remember, she was 24 hours bedridden and she couldn't move or do anything but lay there and sleep. And so, um, we ended up making her some tea with a little bit of
I had the honey
the
sticks.
honey stick,
Yes,
That you
yes.
and she drank that, and she all of a sudden perked up. She wanted to sit up, and she was just all
She got her
happy.
appetite.
She got her appetite
Yeah.
back because that's why she was on a feeding tube, because she wasn't eating. So she got her appetite back, and then she started to want to try to eat. And then eventually we had the feeding tube off of her. But I know that she drank the tea and she's like, what is in here? I want some more. She's passed on now, but yeah, I just remember that what it did for her at that moment.
Oh yes, and to mention like the honey sticks, it came down to where alternative I had some choices to make, and I was blessed to have a great source of where I was getting my, plug, my source for our hemp oil and distillates from, right? I mean, lab tests speak for itself. We had some of the highest, even in the beginning of the industry. For some reason it was just like, man, it was just like this blessing. But all in all, we had these. The CBD, the hemp honey sticks. And, and my transition was to, I had to choose where, we couldn't really keep up with the manufacturing and everything that kept getting shut down, our merchant account and application costs and kept, like it just adds up.
Yeah.
So we actually ended, our sales, what was really painful because I actually called back to speak with this individual, and she was, part of, the church groups, and, to help someone in the, Catholic Church even, right, to be like, hey, it was like, it was you think the stigma is really strong, but people were starting to open to it, and this actually helped her mom who had dementia, and I met, this family who moved our interest. She's, a pharmacist. She's a board member of a couple of dispensaries in Illinois. Um, so we, through the process of us, helping individuals, this particular family, I just felt bad, because it's like, how can you tell someone's family, like, well, this is helping my mother with her dementia, and you're going to tell me you can't sell me anymore? But then how can you tell someone, hey, like, for me, as a the time we had to buy it from our wholesaler, for us, it wasn't, a business, just business related. It just didn't work out for us. To call back and then, just to think of her mom, I decided to, call back and be like, hey, hope your mother's okay and everything like that. And she's like, hey, I'm sorry to tell you this, but my mother passed away.
Yeah.
And then it makes, it makes me think like, shoot, man, like, what if, I could have just got 100 CD, 100 sticks and just put it on the side for her. Like, it wasn't,
Right.
but at the same time, it's part of the process. In order for us to help change this, is, when people say the votes don't count and voting doesn't matter, it does matter in this sense because we need these type of laws and bills to change because people have, safe access to it, right? I mean, last thing you want is a patient get arrested because it's illegal to use a plant that they're saying that it's helping them. They can only speak for themselves, right? I mean, no one's telling them. I mean, how many people are just saying, hey, cannabis became a medicine for so long?
Right.
Um, but all in all, I mean, it's very important. I mean, that what we're doing, this whole, platform that we are all, providing, whether it's here with you guys or any other platform, it's very important. And I think something like this is really great for our communities to come together. And honestly, like, how many other small business owners or small entrepreneurs that are out there, right? Like, 5 nights that we've done something, we were putting together, it's about to be a third event. And I mean, think about it. If you're spending as a small entrepreneur, small business owner, you spend, let's say, even $100 or $1,000 on some marketing. Like, 5 nights is able to bring a lot of the small local entrepreneurs to come together and say, hey, imagine now if that $100 became like $600 because there's six of us that are marketing together. Six of us, and it doesn't have to be the same business because there's one that does personalized items for weddings. There's another company that does tie dye. There's another company that does marketing. There's a company that does, loans. All types of different businesses, right? Even like you guys. You guys are always welcome. We were initially we're going to do a podcast, and that's the other thing too. Was for that different group was the production cost. Because everything comes at an expense, right? Um, but over time, I think that everything will work out because with the stars are aligned. We've got to adjust and fit different pieces of our puzzles to make things work. So that we can make it work for now, so we can make it better, right? But all in all, I mean, it's it's definitely been an incredible journey. You hear a lot of times where people say like, I don't know where to start, or I'm afraid. Everyone doesn't know where to start, even when an attorney.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere and then you just learn, right?
Yeah, and sometimes you got to get your foot wet, or sometimes you got to make those mistakes. But
Yeah,
all in all, if you do your due diligence, your mistakes are lessons, or
exactly.
learning to network with others so that you can learn from their mistakes or see their success stories,
Right.
right? Instead of like, hey, what did they fail at? No, what did they do well at? Like, let's
Right.
focus on what they did well at so that we can implement that into our business plan. Not that we're trying to take anything from anybody. It's just, the law of business is, when someone does well, then why would you want to learn from them?
So we want to take a moment to acknowledge some of the viewers that we have right now. Tia Massey, Joanne Clark is watching with you. Som, oh, here, Tia, Joanne Clark. We just want to say hi.
Yeah.
And then Som Hong Ping Kam, has a message, light one up 420 mode.
She has no idea.
I don't know what that means at all. And then Tim, thank you for sharing the content. Chris Bomber Martinez.
That's family.
Ashley says great content. Anyone have questions for Bear? Please feel free to comment it on here as well. And then thank you for sharing with Joe. And then Ray says hi, or that's I love you.
See you Friday, Ray.
Sorry, Nuvong says hello as well.
Now
And
you guys have an event.
Tell us about your event.
Why don't you tell us about your event?
Yes. About you guys. So just to go back real quick, the name that was tagged, Chris Bomber right there, that's family from Michigan. So they've won like 10, 11 high times. I mean, they've done a lot of work. I mean, they've put a lot into their movement up there in Michigan. A lot of sacrifice made, even time in prison. So I just want to reach out to that and just, give
No
to
doubt.
the family up there in Michigan, because you're from Michigan as well. So
he's from the D.
oh yeah. I got some friends up in the up Detroit too. So yes, we are. So, but yes, the event, Vibe Night, every first Thursday. As mentioned before, the event will be, there's opportunities for vendors, sponsors. We have created another opportunity where it's a proud partner sponsorship. That's someone that's a company that's going to come in and wants to be more involved, with the movement that we have, to be able to provide, some of that capital for us to do some greatness, right? But all in all, regardless, this is an event that's open to anybody to come. It's free admission. We're not looking to, even if this gets, farther down the road, we're not looking to add any admission to this. Is why we want people to come out. There's no motive behind it, right? It's just for us. It's like, man, I wish I could find some stuff like this. And in the beginning, I mean, we're still in the early stages. We're still trying to make things work and make things click, right? We have different, professionals that is in the cannabis industry as well, whether they're working at dispensaries or multiple talents. Some are, one like Kirsten Lasco, she wrote a book, textbook, cannabis basics, and just different, individuals, even small business owners or minority-owned business owners like Terrell with Chicago Spring Shotgun Stores, Blaze Tech 420, another minority, women-owned businesses like Katie with Sticky Stash, just all of this we're trying to use really at the end of the day. It's like, man, it's not that we all need help, but we could just become a lot stronger together. The fact that we're helping each other because that's what we're choosing to do, right?
Right.
So let's just say this cannabis industry requires this expensive license, right? Somebody told me yesterday, because I had a meeting and someone said, hey man, liquor license like 25 grand. Why does license have to be so expensive?
Right.
People are paying taxes and whatnot, and I said, I'm not trying to get political here because I have no involvement in that. Don't want any involvement in that.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's creating opportunities, giving back to the community. So this event is where we are now, we're networking, we're coming together, we're trying to build a platform, we're trying to build a following, not just for ourselves, but as a group, right? I mean, we're cross marketing, we're doing a lot of sharing. And it's just, and an opportunity to, help someone so they continue paying their, brick and mortar. Like us, our focus for Alternative Eyes was we're going to be like Amazon. We're going to focus on e-commerce, right? If we went to a retail location, I mean, man, as a small business owner, like I could barely pay my rent. We had a downside.
Right.
We got to give up a lot of stuff. But even then, sacrifice has to be made. But all in all, this is an opportunity for so many. If you guys are listening and watching later on, please remember this. If there's an opportunity there, it might not be much in the beginning or much of it in the first place, but that opportunity is going to open up another opportunity, open up another door, right? An event like Vibe Nights or any event that you go to, especially the free ones. Like I saw one CBD Expo or something, and I'm not trying to go to that. I don't want to pay 200 or 1,000 or $1,500 to go to something. I mean, it depends what it is, right? Because
Right.
You get a VIP package at Emma Cup or High Times, man, you can get a lot of free goodies, VIP package, right? But in this case, like how could before you want to open a store, like this is an opportunity for you to come once a month, every first Thursday. Everyone's tired, man.
Sure.
Come once a month, and you can sell your products there. You do your business. Let your customers and clients know, hey, I'm here at Spotted Fox. Every first Thursday, right? October 7th is next event. They're giving away, free rentals for the slingshot worth $300. Kayak, by book kayaking. All these things. And the key within days is it's an opportunity. So please, use those resources. Use those available resources for you, whether it's grants for schools, better education. This case too. You're going to come meet other individuals. You're going to come learn from those individuals, share the knowledge. Listen to someone on stage speaking, presentation. Like I said, it's definitely an opportunity that I hope that many will see soon and later because, um, how often, let's say, you're going to see something where someone's going to say, hey, man, here's an opportunity to come to an event for free, right? So,
Right.
Definitely, definitely. And we do have your information at the bottom. So if anyone wants to get in touch with Alternative Vibes for any reason, some of these things are personal. Everything is confidential. So if you want to reach out and talk to them about anything, by all means. If you want to support their event, which seems like a very worthwhile event, it's free, so you actually have no reason not to attend the event. But also attend the event every first Thursday of the month and support minority business owners, young entrepreneurs. That's what we're here for. We thank you very much for coming on the show, man. That was very generous of you to take your time out to be on the show. But we hope to have you on the show sometime in the future.
Yes.
absolutely. Thank you for having me, and I do really appreciate this. The platform is amazing.
Thank
So
you.
many individuals out there that I hope that I can learn from as well that's been on your shows.
Mhm.
So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later, Bear.
Thank you, Bear.
Very
Okay.
interesting. Very interesting. A lot of information that a lot of
Definitely.
people probably does not know about
Right.
CBD and cannabis and what's involved in the industry. And what I have heard a lot from manufacturers and caregivers is that it's not all about getting high or getting that euphoric feeling.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of medicinal purposes
Mm-hmm.
for CBD as well as cannabis. So the NFL is talking about making the penalty for cannabis not as high as it is now. The NBA has relaxed some of their restrictions on
Really?
marijuana as well. So it is coming, I think, more to fruition as the years go by. But reach out, talk to Bear. If nothing else, educate yourself on a new industry that you might not know a lot about, and see whether or not that might help you or somebody that you love.
Mm-hmm.
One thing he did say is that he enjoys our platform. He's kind of seen us grow, throughout the months. But my wife posted something on Facebook. She's like,
What?
"What are you talking about?"
This is live, so I never know what he's gonna say.
The stats for the month that for
Oh, okay, yeah.
and it was like 13,000-14,000 that has viewed the podcast
This
this month.
yeah, yeah. I was shocked to see that because I mean, yes and no, because sometimes people don't catch our live shows; they come back and watch the replays.
Right.
And
that doesn't count. The replays doesn't count. They gotta count.
I don't know. I don't know what they count, but we don't get 13,000 viewers at one time.
Right.
They come back to our page, and so it just gave us the statistics of how many we've reached this month. It's over 13,000 viewers, and that's amazing. I think that's quite amazing. Thank you, everyone who has shared, who has participated, who has come on our shows, and everything else. We truly appreciate it. We do this from our own time, our own resources. We have few businesses that we're running, but we do this because it means a lot for us to give back to the community as well, and also to shed light in the Black and Asian community. So we thank you for the bottom of our heart, because there's been so many times, because we're just so busy, that I'm like, babe, do we continue? Should we keep going? He's like, yes, we keep going. We keep going. We show up.
Yeah. If you make a commitment,
so
you fulfill that commitment.
Right. And so he's been the one that's like, come on, let's just do it. But I've been like, you've got the kids, you've got this, you've got that, you've got all these businesses going on and people counting on you. But I know that our viewers are counting on us too. So, we're going to continue 7:00, same time, same place, every Wednesday, continue to shed light on Asian and Black minority leaders and community leaders, and continue to educate you about what's going on in our community, and for us to come together and help educate you so that we can all elevate together.
And take it from someone who's been in social media marketing for, 8-10 years. 14 grand is a big deal, considering we don't do any ad placement.
We don't do advertising.
Outside of the organic things that we do on social media, there is no pay for viewership that we do, or pay per click, or anything of that.
No, it's all by referrals and word of mouth.
Organic. Everything is organic.
Yeah, so we truly appreciate that.
14 grand is a worthwhile accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we don't promote it as much as Facebook, but we also are on our YouTube platform. We only set that up because not everybody, especially people who don't go on Facebook, they're like, can you send me other link? So we are on YouTube, but we don't really promote that as much. We're not on there as much. So, but you're more than welcome to share that link as well. If you have viewers, or anyone that does not have a Facebook and they still want to watch it, you can just look us up on Blasian Soul Podcast and share those links, or even our website. Everything is on our website, www.blasiansoulpodcast.com, and you'll see all of our content as well uploaded on there. And we're on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, all the major platforms that are podcast platforms. So as soon as we go live, we typically download the audio, and it's on all the podcast channels as well.
That's what's up. Guys, thank you for taking the time to, kind of join us in another chapter in the podcast. We want to thank Bear for taking the time to come on and explain what he's doing, and, kind of give him his flowers as being a young entrepreneur. And we will be back same time next week to dish out some more stuff and kind of talk about current events, and of course have another guest for you guys to learn from.
Absolutely.
So guys,
with that said,
be safe.
Watch your six.
Be safe. Help each other out as much as you can, and watch your six.
And lock on.